So, Blake Bertling, just a little bit of information about him before we get started. His topic tonight is the road to the authentic self. He's an NLP master practitioner, and he's in NLP, if you don't know, stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. He's been doing that since 1997 and a master practitioner since 1998. The focal point of his work, he believes, is assisting people in coming to peace with themselves and their place in the world. This coming to peace allows people to go through a looking glass, which leads to their authentic self, a place where anything is possible. So, I'm going to introduce Blake now and let him say a few things about himself, and then we'll start seeing where this interview goes. Oh, you got your own. Sorry.
I got my own. I feel like I'm in a Baptist church in the South with all these little fans going.
And the fanning.
Yeah, the fanning over there, back there. It's great. So thank you all for coming here, and generally I am a trainer or facilitator. I'm not really a public speaker. That's why Shea and I are kind of doing this. So I really like to work with you guys and have you guys be a part of this whole thing. Remember, I don't know how many people here, 30 or so people, whatever. There's a lot more brains and heart and soul out there than there is right here. So bring some stuff, whatever you got. You got any questions, anything like that. I want you all to leave with at least a little something today. When you go to a car dealership, you're going to buy tires. You expect to walk out with tires. You all came here to learn a little something about the authentic self, and I want you to walk out of here with some of that, if not a lot of it. Because I know one thing: if we are our authentic self, it's going to be a really great world.
Okay, so, can I check out the bed? Sure. Okay, so I first met Blake on my table. So what I do for a living is I'm a colon hydrotherapist.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I got permission. I got permission. So I initially met Blake. I initially met Blake on my table, and we did some work together for a while. And then one night he came into my office. We had an evening appointment. He came into my office, and he sat down, and he looked at me, and he said, "I think you need me more than I need you." And I didn't know what he did. So I was like, "What do you do?" And so he told me, and out of the generosity of his heart, at that point he was doing 2-hour sessions, and we only had an hour together. So we sat down, and in an hour, and we also booked the next morning at it was like a Saturday at 7 a.m. so he could fit me in before his client started. But in our first hour together, I honestly can say that I shifted and moved more in who I am than in 10 to 12, if not 15 years of pretty regular counseling. I'm not quite sure how to exactly explain what happened. I know that it was enough to make me decide to continue going back on a weekly basis, which I did for about a year and a half maybe. And even though I was completely inadequate at explaining what was happening in the sessions, because my clients were asking me, I still have a lot of regular clients, and they watched me go through this period of transformation where they were continuously asking me, well, what does he do? What's he doing to you? Like, what is NLP? Were you guys just talking? And I didn't know really how to explain what NLP was. I just knew that it was working, and my clients knew that it was working. Didn't I pretty much single-handedly stock your client aquarium for the first,
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were...
Thanks you over there, too.
Without even knowing how to say what was happening, people saw me change and started signing up, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So this is my opportunity to just say, Blake, what is NLP?
Well, I think the first thing when Shea said she came in and didn't know exactly what I did, I'm going to tell you exactly what I do, and this may not relate to NLP. When I look around the room, I see people, and I start to see, who they are as their authentic self. It just starts to happen, whatever is going on. And then, you can't hear me okay? I'll speak a little louder. Thank you. You guys all right? So anybody not hear me when I said that? Okay, people in the back. So the first thing I do, which is not necessarily NLP related, is I just start to get an idea of who this person's authentic self is, who they are. If they were totally in their power, what would they be? What would they look like? What would they think like? What would they see? And then that's really where it starts. And then the NLP can actually start. NLP is just a lot of techniques. They're very good. They're very powerful. I don't want to put down therapy, anything like that, but I think Shea said 10 to 12 sessions might equal one. I've heard that many, many times.
So 10, 12 years for me.
Wow. Okay.
I was ready.
She was primed up, which I was saying to you right there. A lot of times, people go to a certain therapy, they'll go into somebody, and they'll get these great changes. Remember, it's not always the last person you see. There might have been 10 or 12 healers before that led to this, and don't discount them. There's a whole process that we need to go through that is not just one person, one all-star. I'm just one kind of healer, and I have my little genre that I do, and I think I'm pretty good at it. Starting NLP, started in the 70s, a guy named Richard Brandler, John Grinder, very brilliant guys, quite frankly, and they took the work of Virginia Satir, Fritz Perls, she knows, and Milton Erickson, and that's a hypnotherapist, a family therapist, and I don't know, something else. Anyway. Yeah, there you go. And they just put all those guys in a blender, turned it on Frappe, and NLP popped up. And that's what we got, and we've been working with it ever since. But I want to say something. The training I've been doing for quite a while now is with a guy named Art Running Bear. I don't know if you heard of him. He's an Apache medicine man. And I will tell you that everything that I did for the last 12 years, my degree in psychology, the work of Viktor Frankl, purpose and meaning, everything, just really prepared me for that work. It's funny how the ancient medicine is so much more powerful than anything we have. It's not just a head game like psychiatry. It's not just a physical thing. It encompasses everything. It's absolutely amazing. And I suggest anything that comes out today as we speak, whatever your spiritual teachers are, whatever your gurus are, to bring whatever I'm saying that doesn't make sense or anything, and bring it to them and have them explain it. It can really help. When you walk around with disconnected thoughts and disconnected beliefs, it can be really discouraging. So make sure that they all connect at the end of the day, and ask here and get clarity. And you can talk to me after. I'll be here as long as anybody needs for any questions that you may have. Because my wife will be watching the 3 kids, so I get a little break. So be happy to stay longer. Go ahead, Shea.
Isn't that your wife right there? Right there. Okay. Not really watching the 3 kids. Okay, so we've got where it originated and who developed it, so, and how long you've been involved, but what was it that brought you into studying and then practicing NLP?
I think the first thing was, and a lot of you all might have grew up like this, I was really, and I think a lot of people, injustice really moved me a lot. When I see injustice, if you watch movies and you see people getting a raw deal, and you just wanted fairness, and I hated seeing people get picked on, made fun of. It just bothered the heck out of me, and I was just moved by that, and I really wanted to do something. I started out in psychology, and it just went from there. I just want to see people really free to express themselves and do the things that they always want to do and always could do without being put down. And that's really why I got started in this.
So you had this thing, a trigger with injustice, and you suddenly found NLP and thought that was the way to go? Or how did you find NLP? I mean, because I'd actually heard of it for probably a decade or longer before I met you, but it was just those kind of 3 initials in the back. Oh yeah, Tony Robbins, something about Tony Robbins, or... Well,
one of the things I do is a lot of people who, and this happens all the time, and when you see people who are not their authentic self, you will see somebody who's not in line with their purpose, does not know what their meaning is, what they're doing here, and where they're going. And so what I like to do is pull out of them, what are they passionate about, what do they love, what do they feel like they're meant to do to get that mission. And I wrote down all these things of what I want to do. I wanted to work with people, I wanted to help people, I wanted to teach people, I wanted to have fun, I wanted to travel a little bit, all these things. And I was happening to read an Anthony Robbins book. I was going to get my wisdom teeth pulled out. I was about 30 years old or so, and he kept mentioning NLP, and I just went, that's what I'm doing right there. And I never stopped from there. It was just, that was it.
Where did you get your training?
NLP Marin. Anybody know Michelle Masters?
Absolutely.
Carl Buchheit. They're still there doing the same thing. I ran into Michelle the other day. They're really phenomenal teachers. They are extremely good at teaching the fundamentals. And remember, these fundamentals, if you are ever blessed to be trained by a shaman or a kahuna, or a medicine man or something like that.